All right, everybody, we got another very special guest for you all this week. I want everybody to welcome to the show Curtis Clow. Welcome, Curtis.
Hello, thanks for having me.
Did you pronounce his last name wrong after we asked him? Yeah, it's Clow, man.
I didn't even
Clow.
hear it.
Yeah, it's Curtis.
No, a lot of people
sorry. Welcome to the family, Curtis. I pronounced your name wrong.
It's all good. That's how it goes.
It's common.
Yeah, I don't know. After 200 something episodes, you think we would have it down, but these things are tough, you know. There's only so much you can hold together in a podcast. Thanks for being here, Curtis.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, your projects are awesome. I can't wait to talk about them so everybody else can hear about them too. But first time guests, we always put you through the gauntlet of a origin story. So let's hear that. Like, what got you into comics? Have you always collected comics? Because we've heard some people don't while they're writing. So yeah, let's hear your story.
Yeah, I was into comics a little bit as a kid, and then kind of got out of them until like my late teens, early 20s, and that's when I started getting like obsessed with comics again, reading all the Image stuff and like Kickstarter and all the indie comics, and then launched my first Kickstarter back in 2017 when I still had like a day job, which is making comics at night. Come home after work and like work late into the night, making comics, trying to make it happen. And then for about 3 years now, I've been doing just writing comics full time, Kickstarter and freelance writing. So just living the dream now.
There you go. So it's full time for you now, and you love it or what?
Oh yeah, you have to love it. Yeah. It's a grind still. So like,
yeah,
you wouldn't be doing it if you didn't love it. But you love it, and then you hopefully, you hope it'll pay off one day where you'll have some extra money. But for now, it's still a grind.
Yeah. And I think the boxes behind you are a testament to the Kickstarter.
Definitely. That's a testament to the grind, yeah.
So what was your first published stuff? Was that through Scout or Dark Horse?
Yeah, Scout. My first Kickstarter series was called The Wild Cosmos. Got signed with Scout Comics, just like a 5-issue series. And then my second series was Beastlands, which is still ongoing. That's going to be collected with a trade from Dark Horse next month. And then we're still self-publishing it. And then third creator-owned series, Slighty Exaggerated. Fourth one was Majestic.
Okay. So let's start with Scout, with that series. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so it's my first series. I'm proud of it though. Like I feel like you get better with every book you write and every book you make, but I'm still proud of that as like a timestamp of where I was when it first came out. But we still have one more Kickstarter for that one for the last 2 issues. We had to like get a new creative team on that. Just the issues of having like an indie project and trying to do it all yourself. You have to, sometimes you lose artists and stuff. Just all like a learning experience. So I just think of that project as like, I'm proud of the story we told and stuff, but it's also just such a learning experience, learning how to make comics, how to self-publish it, signing the deal with Scout, going through different art teams and stuff. It was, it's good to have under your belt as like you continue through your writing career.
So the Wild Cosmos is like truly a sci-fi story from you, right?
It's like like all my stuff has like a fantasy flair, so I call it like a sci-fi fantasy. It's about a like space pirate that has to capture this magical girl and trade her back to these enemy pirates to like get his crewmate back. So it definitely has like a little bit of like magic and fantasy flair
mixed with like the Fifth Element almost.
Yeah.
Which isn't a bad thing. And so how did that work? Because you did Kickstarter first, and then Scout was like, "Hey, we want to publish some of these issues." Or
yeah, I feel like Scout was like one of the first publishers who was like looking at Kickstarter and signing books. Like they find a lot of their books through there. That's and cool. I mean, now it's a lot more common. Like I said, like Beastlands is signed with Dark Horse, and obviously like Image is signing books from there now. But Scout was like one of the early adopters that was like, to like looking for books on Kickstarter and like seeing that there's actually like quality stuff on there. And then it's all creator owned, so we still own it. We can still go back to Kickstarter if we want. But then the deal with these publishers is kind of just like a direct market release.
Oh, okay. That's interesting.
Yeah, I know they always said that when we talked to them, I'm forgetting the publisher's name at this moment, but that even the most successful Kickstarter, and this is no offense to any Kickstarter creators out there, yourself included, Curtis, but even the most successful Kickstarter does not hit what the mass market does. So it's always good for them and the creator to do that and reach a broader audience to maybe expand their career even further.
Definitely. Yeah. I think it's like a different audience. Like I always say, like conventions is the one comic audience, comic shops, and then you have the Kickstarter audience. The Kickstarter audience, like if you have like 1,000 backers, that's like super good. Like that's all you need to like make a living from Kickstarter, because like everything's more expensive on Kickstarter. It's kind of like your super fans, people who are willing to pay extra. And like you see the boxes behind me, like I'm still shipping everything myself. I'm touching every book, signing it all. Like I make sure it's all done nice, and like the quality of these books is much higher than stuff you find in comic shops. Like as far as like the paper quality and stuff. But then, like when you get these publisher deals, when it's coming out in comic shops, it's coming out in comic shops all around the U.S., potentially around the world, and it's just you're hitting thousands of readers instead of like just 1,000. Which if you hit 1,000 on Kickstarter, that's like super good, but you're gonna hit way above that through comic shops.
Yeah, and so Beastlands is through Dark Horse. You said they're working on a trade for that, so that's the first story arc you did. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, so they're going to be. We've done a ton of Beastland Kickstarters now. I have the boxes for issues 6 and 7 behind me, but they're collecting issues 1 through 5. That'll be out June 15th in comic shops, June 28th on Amazon bookstores. It's like already available for pre-order and everything. But so yeah, that's the first volume, issues 1 through 5. It's called Beastlands, Keepers of the Kingdom, and then we're still going through Kickstarter. So we're gonna do another Kickstarter for issues 8 and 9, and that's gonna be like the next second volume, and then hopefully we'll keep going from there.
Okay, so what is that story? It's another fantasy style? Or?
Yeah, it's like a fantasy story. It's very influenced from like Studio Ghibli and like Pokemon and stuff. I try to do like my own original take on that, and I tried to like the themes really wrapped up with the human and pet bond. I tried to like put in the story. My dog was hit by a car a few years ago, and she survived, but it took like a lot of extra care caring for her and her recovery. So it's just about to like put that human and pet relationship into a story. And it's about a boy that has to save his friends and beasts before a king tries to execute all the beasts. It's a world where like some people have these companion beasts. They don't have like any like elemental abilities or anything. They're kind of like real world pets, but like they're the size of a horse, and they're like mountable and stuff.
That's awesome. And you said Pokemon, so Chris, like, his eyes lit up.
That perked up.
A good thing or bad thing?
No, it's a good
I
thing.
love Pokemon. I'm a huge Pokemon fan. Yeah.
No, I'm a huge Pokemon fan too, but I feel like it like never grew up. So like Beastlands is my way of like a more mature, like for I guess for maybe the kid that loved Pokemon, but it's just more mature version, and it's a lot more original. Like I didn't want to like you want to make something original. You don't want to copy something or anything, but it's definitely very influenced.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's kind of the route Chris went with his comic too. But I like that premise of like the Pokemon world growing up of like, yeah, there was probably some consequences from owning these things for years and people exploiting them, or like there's going to be a fallout at some point, or just like, taking the magic away from it and just having larger beasts in itself is pretty cool. So
yeah, I tried to make it so these are like real world pets. Like I said, like these things can die, they can get injured. They might be lifelong like companion beasts, or they might get sick or injured or something like that.
Yeah. Awesome. And so the Kickstarter you're talking about now is Slightly Exaggerated. So, and the Kickstarter is for 4 issues. Have these issues been released before, or?
No, so we have issues 1 and 2 done. We're working on issues 3 and 4. That's like we've already done Kickstarters in the past for 1 and 2, and then this Kickstarter is kind of like a double issue Kickstarter, and it's a 4-issue series. So this is like the full first volume right here.
Okay, and the art is amazing for this. So talk about the story.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, Pius Bach, he's my co-creator. He's a great artist, so I'm just like, makes your job a lot easier when you work with these amazing artists. Yeah, but it's a whimsical fantasy series, like a really strange fantasy world where religion is law and there's like flying sea creatures. We just like went over the top with like no rules. And it's about a dying treasure hunter that has to steal back a sacred gem from a crazed cult leader in a whimsical fantasy world.
And yeah, I mean, that's a pretty like simple premise, but then when you like look at the art and see how it's done, it's like, oh, okay, this is going to be a crazy book. Yeah.
Was the idea for the book because it seems like the book has a lot of like an underwater feel to it, even if you're not underwater. Like there's literally a panel of flying whales at one point. Like, was that something that you wanted to tackle in the book, or how did that come about?
Yeah, that was, I mean, for this fantasy world, just me and Pius are just having like fun, just going crazy with it. Like I said, like the flying sea creatures and stuff, like just wanted to do something weird, something you don't see often in these like fantasy worlds, something original. So like there's like flying manta rays, flying whales, you got like pirate airships and stuff, just going all out. So it's kind of like this fun premise with a bunch of weird stuff like that. The main character, who's this dying treasure hunter, she has like a little frog friend named Winston, who's always like on her shoulder with her. And then it has a lot of like kind of like deeper themes with this kind of like fun premise where it's like it's about dying, it's about religion, and like questioning what you've been told and leaving a legacy. So try to like mix these two deeper things with also like this fun world.
And some of the
staying real safe with the material there, you know, like not trying to hit any hot button issues or anything.
Some of the characters look awesome though from the art pages that you have. Like you have this like queen character with like the cat face people that are pretty
that's
creepy.
That's the crazed cult leader. That's like the main antagonist, Gwen, where she's got her kind of cult of the cat mask people behind her.
Yeah, almost dressed like a Nazi.
Yeah, very like the strict uniform.
Yep, the colonel pants and the leather. Like, oh yeah, that's the villain.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like you could tell right away. Yeah, it looks really cool. So let's talk about some of the rewards you have going on. Like, there's obviously the digital stuff, but you have some like variant covers and things like that you're offering.
Yeah, so like if you're brand new, like you can get the full series for a pretty low price if you go all digital, and then we do our books super high quality. Like I said, like our single issues have like matte covers and like glossy pages. It's all like thick, and then we have a collector's version that has numeric foil stamping on the cover out of 1,000. So each one has like a unique number. And the logo has like a foil stamp, and then we have variant covers, 3 covers for each one. There's a variant C for each issue, 3 and 4, that only have like 100 copies printed for each. And then the kind of the more higher up tiers, we have this like big old collector's box that's like 8x12, and I made one already in the past for Beastlands. It came out really nice. It has like a magnetic closure and like a little like ribbon on it, like a really high quality box to like fit like up to like 10 comic issues for the volume.
Nice. And so what's that tier called? Oh, collector's box. Okay.
I think like the last 3 tiers have come with the box. Yeah. It's expensive to make, so we have it pretty priced high up there, but people really like it. The people that backers in the past that got the Beastlands one. It's a pain to ship, expensive to make, but like people like it, so it's like I gotta just keep making it. People like it.
Yeah, and there's only 3 early birds left out of the 25. And like for a pledge, that's $130. It's still a lot of content. Like you get all the collectors covers and stuff.
I try to make it worth it. Yeah, you get a nice. I forget how you pronounce it, but I think it's called Z-Clay print. It's like this textured print. I love how they turned out. I did one for the Wild Cosmos before, but it comes with that collector's box, and we're gonna do one of the limited covers on that print. It's like a little textured print, and like the colors just really pop on it.
So as we're talking, the book's already funded, so it's like twice the funding goal. But obviously, you're probably gonna do more with these funds, right? Like continuing the story or like anything like stretch goals, stuff like that, or
yeah, I don't really do stretch goals. I've done it in the past, but it just fulfillment's already hard enough doing it all myself, so I want to keep it like as streamlined as I can. But yeah, the extra funds always go back into the books and into the next series. And this first story for Slightly Exaggerated was a 4-issue story, but we're already looking at like possibly like a second volume and continuing the story after this.
Okay. Awesome.
Do you do little extras with when you ship out too? Do you have like bookmarks, stickers, all that kind of fun stuff?
Yeah. I know people love that stuff. So always throwing in like stickers and prints and stuff, just to make it worth it. Like just to, it's coming straight from me. It's not coming from some warehouse or anything. Yeah, hopefully one day I'll get to that point. But after 15 Kickstarters, I'm still doing it all myself for some reason. But so since I'm doing it myself, I'm always signing books and throwing in little extras.
So, I mean, the 552 backers, and you still have 24 days to go. That's pretty big, man. You probably have a pretty good following now. And have you seen that number grow like every Kickstarter?
Yeah, it's always growing. You're always getting new backers through Kickstarter or cross promotion and stuff. And then you always have some returning backers who just become like super fans. And even if they don't back like every one of my Kickstarters, maybe they'll back like every other one, because I'm at the point where I'm doing like 4 Kickstarters a year. So it's just it's a lot. But yeah, I just feel really fortunate that these Kickstarters do this well. And I've had 2 Kickstarters already go like over 1,000 backers, and this one looks like it's on pace to go over 1,000 backers, which is like that's like the sweet spot. If you hit over 1,000 backers, you're good to go.
That's awesome. Yeah. So my question as a collector is that collector's box. Does it fit on a bookshelf, like in between trades? Would it fit like that?
It's 8x12.
Okay.
I have one not too far. I wish I could grab it, but it's 8x12. It can fit on the shelf. It just depends on like how big your bookshelf is. You know how like I don't know if you're familiar with Rick Remender. He does these books that are like the big library editions. The hardcover ones are like oversized. Yep. It's about that size, like the 8x12. So if that could fit on a shelf like that, yeah.
You could probably fit it on a standard bookshelf then.
Yeah. I'm just wondering, like, it's able to turn to the side because it is.
Oh
like
yeah, you can stack it on the side so it stands.
Oh, okay, okay, that's perfect. All right,
that's cool. Yeah. So something I noticed about all the books as I was going through them earlier, and I'm wondering if this was something that you're very involved in, is the color palettes for each book seems very purposeful. How much do you get into working with the colorist, and do you really have like a feeling of what you want the color palette to be for each series before you go into it or as you're going into it?
Kind of like I'll make notes in my scripts and stuff, but it's also kind of just when you're at the point of like choosing which artist to draw which series, and that's kind of like that kind of impacts my choice of like even like starting a new series. Like Majestic was my latest series, and it was very purposeful to find Inaku, who's my co-creator in that, and like I already know like what style she brings going into it, so I like can like trust her. But I can always put like notes in there, but if I've been collaborating with these artists for like a few years now, I kind of just trust them and they're kind of in charge of it. When we first started, Pius was doing all the colors himself on Slightly Exaggerated. And now for the past 2 issues, we brought in some help just because he's putting so much time into these inks now that he just needs a little help with the colors. But he's also giving notes on the colors too.
Yeah, because that book in particular, Slightly Exaggerated, like what pops out to me, and I feel like I'm saying this more and more, so maybe it's not as rare as I thought it was at one point, but the bright colors, the yellow and the purple that kind of set the tone for the book, just really make it stand out to, my day-to-day Batman issue or whatever.
Right. No, that's all Pius. And I mean, that was the reason why I thought he was perfect for the book, because I've seen his style before, and I just knew that he brought that like going into the series. But it's just perfect for this like weird fantasy world. I just knew his style would be great for it.
Yeah, well, it was amazing. I'm really pumped for it. So I'm gonna figure out which reward I want, and it's still got 24 days to go. So no doubts there's gonna be more people checking it out. So I know you have your own website and stuff. Do you want to plug that and like where people can follow you?
Yeah, I have CurtisClow.com is my like portfolio, and then my company site is 2infinitystudios.com. That's I got to update the shop on there. Eventually, when I stop like shipping all these books myself, I'll have like a fulfillment center to help run the shop there. But that's also where if I don't have a Kickstarter live, you should be able to like buy the digital copies and stuff.
Awesome, great.
And do you put these up on? It's tough to say Comixology anymore, but do you put these up on like Comixology anywhere else for people to check them out?
In the past, and then with the update, everything got taken down. So now I'm just, I think I'm just staying off of there. I'll let publishers do it. So the Beastlands trade will be on Comixology June 28th. So it'll be available on there. And I'm just gonna let publishers handle it. It's a kind of a pain as an indie creator to like be uploading stuff on Comixology yourself. And then with knowing that they could just like update the app and everything's just gone anyway. So
yeah. That really
sucks. I didn't know that happened to people.
Yeah, I didn't hear about that either.
I have a lot of friends who like self-publish stuff on Kickstarter, and then you in the past you could have like uploaded it onto Comixology and it was on there for years, and then once they had that app update a few months ago, just like all the indie creators just got wiped out. Everything's gone on there.
Yeah, and I've taken all my money that I was giving towards Comixology and just putting it towards Kickstarter PDFs.
That's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, because it was atrocious. That's why I can't find any indie stuff now. That makes sense because they like everyone was saying they made it harder to find indie stuff. No, they just took a lot of it down. Okay.
Yeah. It's like my stuff is not even on there anymore. But I'll just let the publishers handle it. Like I don't want to go through the trouble of uploading everything again.
Right.
So just I've my goal is always to self-publish first on Kickstarter and build that following, and then you can always sign these creator-owned deals with publishers later. So if we get these deals later, like we have with Beastlands and the Wad Cosmos, then it'll eventually get on Comixology anyway. So
awesome.
Do you end up doing before I ask my final question? Do you end up doing like Indiegogo or anything after your Kickstarter, or have you stuck strictly?
I have in the past. I've done like 2 of them, but now I'm just sticking with Kickstarter. It's just easier, just less like fulfillment and stuff. Like I said, like shipping everything yourself, it's extra work. So then like having to go to like a different crowdfunding platform to like ship also, it's just extra work when most of my following is on Kickstarter anyways. I've been watching like this new crowdfunding one, Zoop, that's came out recently, where they like, I think they take like a higher cut than Kickstarter. They take like 25%, and then but they'll help you with like fulfillment and printing and stuff, which I don't know. Like I love doing all the printing and all like the super book design nerdy stuff. Like I love the page weights and all that. So I don't think I would want to like get that control taken away from me, but that's very tempting when you hear that they do all the fulfillment for you and just take 25%. So it's interesting to see they're kind of getting a following. I know there's a new book on there called The Axe Wielder that's doing really well. It's fun to just keep an eye on it and see how it grows.
Yeah, we're keeping a close eye on Zoop.
Yeah, we do for sure.
So before we let you go, when I do my spiel, you said Beastlands is coming from Dark Horse next month. Do you know the exact date that's coming out?
Yeah, it is in comic shops June 15th, so almost exactly a month. And then it is, you can pre-order on Amazon and any other bookstore right now, and it'll be on Amazon and bookstores on June 28th.
Awesome. So everybody out there, I'll have those links down below to the to Curtis's website, to the Kickstarter, and I'll try to link to the Amazon page as well. That's only if you don't have a local comic shop. If you have a local comic shop, don't be ordering through Amazon. I will find you.
Yeah, and you get it 2 weeks early through the comic shop. So, why wait when you can just head to the comic shop?
Exactly.
So, Curtis, thanks so much for being on. We love talking to you, and we appreciate your time. And hopefully we can do this again sometime, man.
Definitely. Yeah, thank you for having me. It was fun.